Hi folks, John Cordisco here with the match of the century between current world champion Vishy Anand from India, 5-time world champion, against Magnus Carlsen, only 22 years old, from Norway, the highest rated player ever in the history of chess. It's going to be a great clash between the old guard and the new guard. You don't want to miss any of these games. I like both the players. It's going to be great. Magnus, of course, has been called the Mozart of chess. He's an amazing player. And Vishy Anand, of course, another amazing player. Unfortunately, someone has to lose. So let's get to the games. Hi folks, John Cordisco back again with another great chess video for you. This is game 2 of the long-awaited World Championship match between current world champion Vishy Anand from India, rated 2775, and the world's #1 rated Magnus Carlsen from Norway, rated 2870. I'm in my mid-50s, and to have players of this high rating is incredible to me. It's crazy, but these are the two best players in the world, I personally believe. And the first game was kind of a just feeling each other out draw. I think Anand had the black pieces, and he did well to basically corner Magnus in his opening selection into a draw. We're going to see how he does in this game. Anand has white, Carlsen has black. It's going to be a Carl-Khan. C6, Carl-Khan, D4, D5, Knight C3. If anyone was wondering what happened if you advance Carl, it's bishop to F5. After knight to C3, D takes, knight takes, bishop F5 anyway, pretty much standard Carl-Khan. I don't play the Carl-Khan, I don't know much about it. I think it was an interesting selection by Carlsen. Knight to G3, bishop G6. I think Carlsen picked this opening for black, not to throw Vishy off. I'm sure he knows how to play against the Carl-Khan, but I'm sure his really heavy preparation by Anand, he probably covered some Carl-Khan, but not all of it. And Magnus does have a small twist in the Carl-Khan here. H4, of course, H6, Knight F3, E6, which is the old type Carl-Khan from what I understand, the traditional. Knight to E5, not a new move, but a fairly new move. I'm going to go back a move here and look at I got a Fritz 13 computer running off screen. I do that on purpose because I think it's better if we figure out the moves without the computer than with, or try to when you watch the video. The three moves that are picked are bishop F4 for white, bishop D3. It's switching back and forth. That and H5. This is where Vishy does something new, knight E5. Now I want to pause here and make a quick comment concerning the in-depth preparation and opening theory that has to be done at this level. It's crazy. And with the aid of computers to help. I think this is more and more championships that go on, then more and more elite tournaments we see, the more I believe that chess would be a lot better off if we played Fischer random. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Bishop H7, bishop D3, bishop takes, queen takes. Maybe weaker might have been C takes, of course, that doubles up everything. Then after queen takes, queen H5, G6. And that's just miserable for white. After queen takes, knight D7, F4. Obviously, white's going to castle queenside, long castle. And this is the move they say was fairly new, even though it's been played a lot. I think this was the move that Magnus had prepared. And that is bishop b4 check. We can go through a lot of the scenarios why bishop to d2 isn't as good. Just don't have time to go into all the details. Bishop d2 is the computer's choice, and c3 is its second choice, but they're very close in score. Vishy decided to go c3 to chase the bishop off. He just goes back to b7. Now this is a very interesting position. At least in my opinion, Carl Cana has somewhat drawish type lines. And I'm not sure what Magnus was going for here. If he was just going to equalize quickly, which he's done, or just to surprise Vishy, I'm not sure. Just to follow up on my comment earlier in the video concerning Fischer Random, I think it's about time that it's been brought out for real. Maybe we can do both for a while, have separate ratings, but eventually merge all the ratings into Fischer Random. I think for us fans that love to watch the elite players play, I think it would be better. I'm not criticizing the players for what's the word I'm looking for? The easy draws sometimes, or draws that if you try to push it, you might end up worse, and you don't want that. I can't blame a player, especially in a championship match, for wanting to push it when he was equal and he might have a chance of losing. I just think we should start playing it more, as amateurs as well as elite players. Anyway, after bishop d7, bishop d2, knight comes up. Castles long, castles short. Now we're looking at opposite side castling. So I remember watching the video of this. Unfortunately, it's played at 4:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast of the United States. So I watched the video instead without knowing who won. And I thought to myself, this is going to be great. We got opposite side castling. Now there's several moves on the computer I'm looking at here. c4. Rook h to f1, that's probably what I would do, or queen to e2. Vishy decides to go for knight to e4. I think it's kind of a timid move, and a timid move in a way is going to start exchanging pieces quickly. And I think they're still feeling each other out. I shouldn't say Anand's afraid of Carlsen or Carlsen's afraid of Anand, but I think they're afraid of the complications that might transpire. It's only game 2, so they're trying to get into a rhythm. And Magnus took, Vishy took with a queen, and knight takes e5. If a5 instead, rook to h3, and I think black's got an attack coming that he really doesn't want. This rook can come over. Maybe this pawn will push first, then that rook, and then this rook. And there's an attack coming I don't think he really wants to deal with. F takes. If queen takes, bishop d6. After F takes, queen to d5. That was the move that surprised me with Magnus. Magnus, as we all know, has a well-deserved reputation for grinding games out to the very end. His big forte is the middle game and end game, where he'll ground you down and play very well until you make a mistake. Under pressure, tiredness. I think Magnus here decided this was almost a unofficial draw offer, my opinion. Now it's up to Vishy, playing white, whether he wants to trade the queens. A lot of people had thought that he should have gone queen to g4 instead, but Vishy decided to take it. If he had gone queen to g4, king to h8, if he had played queen takes pawn instead, bishop takes h6, g6, h5, and that's a huge advantage for white. Huge. That free pawn was not so free. After queen takes, c-pawn takes, opening up the file on the black king. h5, good move to stop the advance of the h-pawn and close down that side of the board for pawns. b5, rook to h3, a5, come up on the king, kind of a weird minority attack. He's trying to break up this pawn structure here. And he's got the rooks coming over. He's got the bishop here, as well as Vichy. He's got pawns coming here, rook coming over, bishop here. Typical opposite side castling positions. Rook to f1. Rook a to c8. Rook to g3. This is starting to look drawish now. King to h7. He has to. Rook goes back to f3. The king has to go back to protect the f-pawn. Rook to g3. King to h7. Rook there, rook there, rook there, and they set it a draw. I was a little disappointed. It was a longer game in moves than game one, shorter in time. The moves are pretty much blitzed out. This gets to my point about Fischer random. Anyway, I can't blame either of the players. They're just trying to get settled in. Even though Vichy is from Chennai where they're playing, he doesn't spend much time there. He lives in Spain, has for several years. I know he comes there a few months out of the year, but it is his hometown. And Magnus is pretty much settling in too. You can tell he's a little nervous. Magnus isn't usually this nervous, but he's a 22-year-old kid playing for the World Championship. Anyway, folks, tomorrow, Monday, is a rest day. Game 3 will be on Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't think it was disappointing. It was an interesting game. But we'll wait till these guys settle in because I think fireworks are coming. Anyway, folks, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. And hope to see you all in the next video. And please subscribe. I would appreciate it. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.